And so that's the point when I decided that, if I really want to walk down this path, not only will I give my life to Jesus Christ.
There's no way you're doing that.
No. Let me finish. Because not only am I going to give my life to Jesus Christ, I'm also going to give my life to Muhammad as well. Going to give my life to Krishna. Vishnu. Thor.
What about Poseidon?
Poseidon for sure. Yeah. Aries, Jupiter. All of them.
The whole universe. I'm just give yourself to the universe, brother.
Exactly. It's going to be a fully, I want to be just in the midst of religion and just, you know what I'm saying?
But you actually need it, because there's some of the stuff that you do, bro.
Exactly. But thank God nobody knows what I'm thinking, just me and you. But yeah, let's go live.
All right, let's go live. How long we got?
We've been live. Shit.
What up, guys? I am Sarah Garvey, and welcome to the People's Opinion. And like you just heard, there is a man here too. Also, we have the man that no one knows but hears. Everyone hears him.
The man of no faces.
No one knows what he looks like. You see how mysterious you are, Jesse?
Oh, mysterious Jesse.
Yeah, that. Thank you all for tuning in today. We are going to be getting into a couple of things. Recently, Jesse, last week, right? There were two.
No, Tuesday.
Oh my God, it's Friday today, isn't it?
Yes.
A couple of days ago, Jesse, right? We had a couple of guys on. And I just want everyone to know, right? The reason why these couple of guys were on the podcast was because of Jesse. Not because of me. Those are Jesse's people. Those are Jesse's folks. Okay, not my folks. So if anyone's got any discrepancies about these guys, yeah, talk to Jesse. Don't talk to me. But yeah, we had a couple of guys on the pod, Jesse, right? And they seem to leave an imprint. They seem to leave an imprint in the psyche of the people that were watching this podcast, and not specifically or particularly for a good reason. They were from a podcast called the DMT or DTM podcast.
Discuss the Matter.
Discuss the Matter podcast. And we spoke about male issues. We spoke about religion. We spoke about life. We spoke about a few things, but for some reason, they were not received well, Jesse. Did you realize that?
During the show, I was not paying attention, so I didn't realize.
You didn't pay attention to the comments?
I was busy making sure that everything was running smoothly. Sound, cameras, Hennessy. And then got home, read the comments. I was like, God damn, these motherfuckers were cooked.
Yeah. I have to put it down to the fact that they were younger minded. They may not have been young, but they were younger minded. They probably need to experience a little bit more in this life to kind of have a conversation. But I think they kind of came on wanting to just be the opposite of everything that I was saying. That's the kind of feeling that I got. And, a lot of the times I've been debating for years. The people that have followed me for years know that I've been debating for years. So a debate to me is like nothing. I'm always up for a debate. But a lot of people, just to use a Floyd Mayweather quote, a lot of people see from the outside and think, I can get in the ring with him. And then they step in the ring and it doesn't go well.
What I would like to say, Sarah, is that you're 100% right. But they came to fight you on your ground, which is where they had already lost. Because you're not that smart. You're not clever. I mean, your looks ain't going to get you paid because you're not that cute. But they came to your territory, and that's where you had a field day. But had you went to their playing field, I think it would be different. And also, your army of followers are just very loyal to you. So no matter what you say, they're going to agree with you.
Brother, there's followers, right? I get that. And then there's just facts. And I stuck in that pod. I stuck to the facts. And I listened to what they were saying, and then I said my piece. And so, really and truly, it doesn't really. I say that may play a part. I get you, that may play a part, but I'm just about facts. And when you say they came onto my territory, listen, brother, I'll go into enemy territory and I still fuck them up, right? It doesn't matter who it is, brother. I was at Speaker's Corner for 5 years in enemy territory, surrounded by the enemy, yeah, and I still went in there and fucked people up. Because I debate, bro. Like, people don't understand that debating is it's like a martial art. No, sorry. It's a mental art. It's not a martial art. It's a mental art. You have to understand where people are going. Sometimes you can see where people are going. Sometimes you can predict what they're going to say. And a lot of the time you have to understand that you have to listen long enough to learn how to counter. It's a whole thing, bro. It's a whole like a mental chess game.
So what you're saying is, even if you had gone to their playing field,
even if
you'd have been okay.
Yeah, I'm not saying that I know everything, right? But I'm saying that I know enough to go in to talk about things generally. Do you get what I'm saying? I know enough to talk about things generally. And I know when people generally, oh, excuse me.
Jesus Christ.
Excuse
man.
me,
Whoa.
brother. It's the coke. It's the coke.
Which coke?
People generally don't generally know enough, if that makes sense. People know what they know. People live in general in bubbles generally. And I, throughout my life, you know, it hasn't been the longest life, but I've been here. I've done a lot in my life, and I've gone into different circles of different people within my life and experienced different things. And so I have a different way of viewing the world. And so a lot of the time people stay in a bubble, and do you know what? They sound amazing in that bubble because all of their friends think that way, and all of their followers think that way, and all of their peoples think that way. And as soon as they come out of their bubble, they are F.
You sound like you're talking about yourself.
Nah, brother. What bubble am I in? What bubble am I in?
I hate black women bubble.
Here we go. That's what they thought. That's what they thought. But they were wrong. We've actually got a video of them talking about something that we actually spoke about on the show. Can you play that video and just to let everyone see the kind of
will do
psychology?
Guys, before I play the video, these two are Tristan on the left and D6 on the right. They're from a podcast called DTM, Discuss the Matter. We put the description in our last video. So if you resonate with them, please be sure to give them a follow.
He has to go out. He needs to put money on gas and electric. Us here, sitting here, we have to be the example and come out and help them. Do you see what I'm saying?
So
enough of us doing that, though?
What about the fathers?
The fathers are trash. That's what we have to say. The ones that don't look after their kids are trash.
I think on the surface level, that sounds great. I consult men and I speak to men who want to see their children. Been doing it.
Why can't they see them?
Been doing it for a few years now. So if we were to go to the Fathers for Justice, there's a website called Fathers for Justice.
Educate me.
If we go back to the early 2000s, I don't know if you guys remember a bunch of people scaling Buckingham Palace in superhero uniforms.
No.
You don't remember?
No.
There's a bunch of people that scaled Buckingham Palace and Parliament in Superman uniforms, and they were an organization called Fathers for Justice, and they would put their banner down. And as I was young, because it was in early 2000s, I was young. I never had a child then. I've actually got a boy now. And I didn't understand what they were doing. I didn't understand why they were doing it. But as I got older and I started going through certain things and consulting men, and I started seeing that 200 men per day are actually removed from their children via the family court system.
How much? 200?
200
That's
children.
a fact.
200 children. Yeah, you can go to the Fathers for Justice website and you can pull it up now.
And what's the reason?
What's happening is there's a prevailing psychology within a lot of women out there.
But why is it that virtually every man has to fight to see their child?
Why are you complaining about a problem that you created for yourself? I don't want to hear it. You created that problem.
Yes.
So now you're like, oh, I have to fight my way out of my own problems. Oh, I'm sorry. Are we not all adults?
I agree.
Is life not always what we want it to be?
Yeah.
You'll leave her to fight for herself, but you're like, oh, I ain't going to fight for my kid. Why I got to fight for my kid? Over a problem that you created yourself. When we could have all just been like, you know what? I'm good on the kids. Let me wrap it up. Let me at least get married first. Let me at least try to do the right thing.
I think this deserves one of these. You know what, Jesse, yeah? We were talking about fathers and stuff that they go through, right? And That's why I asked them, are they fathers? And they're not fathers. So I have to give them a bit of grace, okay? But as someone who speaks to fathers all the time, you're a father yourself, right?
Yeah, man.
Not a very good one.
No, man.
Yeah, you
But
got about what, like 16 baby mother?
Yeah, 16 baby mother.
Real bad man.
23 pitney.
No, I'm joking. No, yeah, as a father, you go through certain things, and the way in which they were speaking was clearly from a place of not being a father. They tended to take the side of a lot of single mothers. And what I've noticed in this life is that there are a lot of boys or men now raised by single mothers who take on the traits of those bitter single mothers. And so some of their talking points tend to sound like bitter baby mothers. Like a lot of them tend to sound like their mothers. And unfortunately, we're living in a society where so many men that were raised by single mothers are starting to sound like them, think like them, and act like them. And I think in that case, we were doing a show a couple of days ago. Jesse, you remember when I showed the video of the other guys, and the guy actually saying to another guy, "Your son's mine now, right? Your son's mine," and he was trying to fight for his son. And one of the guys from the podcast said, "Does that guy have a history of violence? Does he have a history of violence?" And for him to come to that conclusion so quickly was worrying to me, man.
It was concerning. He did sound a bit like police.
You sound like the poor.
Babylon.
Like Babylon. Why do we always speak in Jamaican accents now, bro? What's going on?
Because we are Jamaican.
You're Jamaican?
Appropriate Jamaican, yeah.
Okay, you're appropriating the culture.
Yeah.
Fair days. So yeah, today we're going to discuss fatherlessness. And I think this society is suffering from a lack of fathers. And what happens to societies when they lack fathers, when they lack structure, when they lack masculinity? A lot of things tend to go downhill. Jesse, I hope for you, brother, that you stay within your son's life and you give him some guidance. I hope you do, brother. I want that for you, bro.
And I hope that you go and get a hair transplant, because looking at your shiny bald head in this light is really putting me off.
Bro, don't be jealous of the bald head. Don't be jealous of the Malteser, brother.
No, I'm joking. Thank you.
Yeah, like I hope that happens for you. So we have a video that I'm gonna play. There's a woman talking.
Which one is it?
Was it what number was it?
You can see the screen, can't you?
Yeah, I can see it.
That one there?
Well on, I'm in it. Not her. Yeah, the white lady there.
All right. Here you go, guys.
There,
homes have way better outcomes than single mother homes, but still custody law in this country is effed. Now, obviously a two-parent household is best, bar none. And it's not always a woman's choice to be a single mother. There are a lot of deadbeat dads. But why is it that when a couple's getting divorced, custody overwhelmingly goes to the mother? Meanwhile, kids in single mother households are 5 times more likely to commit suicide, 9 times more likely to drop out of high school, 10 times more likely to abuse drugs, 14 times more likely to commit rape, 20 times more likely to end up in prison, and 32 times more likely to run away from home. To all of this, when single mothers have way more resources than single fathers, they also tend to be better educated than the fathers, but make less money. Because, oh yeah, kids living with a single mother are twice as likely to live in poverty than with a single father. And all of this, when 1 in 4 American kids live in a single parent household, and 80% of those households are single mothers. The problem in America is not toxic masculinity. It is the absence of it.
The
problem in America is not toxic masculinity, it's the absence of it.
It's a great finishing line, isn't it? As you heard, I've been through statistics as well, and you guys can all go through the statistics, and you can find that children that are raised in single mother homes do less better than children raised by either their father alone or in two-parent households. Now, I know that is not generally a statistic that a lot of single mothers want to hear, but it is the facts. The facts are, if you are raising your child or children without their father around, or keeping their father out of their life for whatever reason, if you're going into your feelings and you're alienating the father of your child and you're doing all of these things to stop men from seeing their child, your child is more likely to be a rapist, your child is more likely to be homeless. Your child is more likely to have behavioral problems. Your child is more likely to go to jail. Now, you have to ask yourself as a mother, do you prefer to upset the father of the child because of your feelings, because you two broke up in the wrong way, and you hate him and you don't like the fact that he's got a new family or whatever it is? Do you prefer to sit in that, or do you prefer your child to have a stable upbringing? In my experience as I consult men, Jesse, right, I've seen a lot of women that hate their children more than that hate their father of their children more than they love their children. I've seen it. I've seen them take all of that hate and, direct it towards a father while neglecting the child. And I'm like, do you love your child or your children more than you hate this man? And a lot of the time, a lot of the mothers that I hear and I speak to, and the fathers that I speak to, it seems as if a lot of the mothers hate the men more than they love their children. It's crazy, brother.
I never thought about it like that, but that could actually be a thing.
It's a thing. It's a thing. I mean, I know from my experience as a father, sometimes I've had to think that. I've thought to myself, like, do you hate me more than you love our child? Like, because the way you're acting is that you're actually neglecting what the child needs, as in the child needs a father. Why would you stop that from happening? And I said, as someone who's gone through it in their personal life and somebody who consults men, it seems to be on epidemic proportions right now. Like I spoke about before and saw, 200 fathers, bro, a day are removed.
I didn't know there were that many people in the world. We used to have 200 a day. I'm joking. There's a comment from young Billy Pippin, who essentially saying that it's not the lack of a father, but the lack of money. So if you have a single, I'm paraphrasing, I'll get the comment up on the screen. What am I being?
Yeah, go on. Let's hear
the
it.
comment says, show me any evidence or statistics that suggests that white kids with no fathers are worse off or behave more negatively. There is none, because the lack of a father is not the problem. It's the lack of money.
No.
And
No. Those statistics
to
are...
say a woman can raise a kid on her own just fine if she has the money.
Who's that from?
Young Billy Pippin.
No, that's not statistically correct.
Well, just think about it for a moment. Do you think that could be the case?
No, because money does not substitute a father's love. And money does not substitute a father's discipline. Money does not substitute a father's presence in any household. It doesn't. Children need discipline. Children need guidance. Children need to be directed. They need to be molded. Money doesn't do that.
You say money can't substitute it, but one of the main issues when parents split up is child support monies. So it is some kind of substitute, I guess.
No, it just makes a lot of the time it makes the mother's life easier. That's what child support is for. You have a child, I have a child. How old's your boy now?
3.
Now, you know how much it is roughly to take care of him.
£160 a week.
You need £160 per week for him.
Yeah. And for us when we step out.
So you see? You said us.
Yeah.
I'm talking about for the child.
Well, for the child by himself.
Yeah, for the child by themselves.
It's not a lot of money.
It's minimal, isn't it?
It's literally, it's like rolling costs that don't change every week. It's like maybe like £50.
Right, exactly. So to actually take care of a child, because that's what child support's for, it's to support the child. So if I'm giving you a crazy amount of money, who's that money for? It's for the mother.
Yeah, to make her life easier.
To make her life easier. It's not for the child. And child support is supposed to be for the child. And a lot of sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, because a little while ago I found out how much some people I know pay in child support. And I'm like, wow, it's like a couple £100 every month. I'm like, what the fuck? That's not enough. But then I actually sat down,
of course it is,
and I calculated how much money I spend on my boy every month, and like it's
minimal.
So when people say, oh yeah, no, I can't have a child because I ain't got the money, it's not as much money.
No, it's because you as an individual want money. Yeah. And that's so funny. I actually remember when I broke up with my son's mum, and because I was paying the rent in the house, right? I was paying the rent in the house. And when I left, I had to pay rent in my own house, so I couldn't pay rent in her house anymore. But I remember we agreed a fee. How much you need a month for him? He needs X a month. Are you sure? Yes. Okay, cool. That's fine. And then in about 2 months, she realized, oh shit, actually, I need some more. And I'm like, no. Because now what you're asking me to do is to substitute your lifestyle.
Yeah. I mean, when you have a child initially, there's a big outlay because you need equipment that you never had before. I'm assuming it's your first child, so then you know you need things that you've never had to buy before. And every now and again, you got to like buy new things like
new
clothes.
things.
Yeah, but just the general weekly unchanging money,
It's minimal.
It's very minimal.
Of course it is.
Yeah, believe me.
And the thing is, that's the thing about that is actually the thing about this thing when I talk about child support and I consult men. I think a lot of women out there, when it comes to their children, they want money for them. They don't want money for the child because, like we said, the child's upkeep is minimal. Why must a man pay more than 1,000 a month? Why? For what reason? Doesn't make sense. For who's that for? This child doesn't cost that much. It's like when I see these settlements with these like Hollywood people sometimes, and sometimes in court settlements, even if it's not Hollywood, and you hear how much money they calculate. I'm like, the child doesn't need that much. Who's that for?
Hey, apparently I'm a simp and coming across as passive aggressive.
Oh, bro, this is the internet, brother.
Yeah.
we can't take everything on the internet to be true.
No, I don't have time for keyboard warriors, so they can say what they like.
Yeah, good.
Cool.
By the
way, I don't fully disagree with Billy Pippin, by the way. Like, you know, two things can be right and two things can be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, from my experience, from my own experience, and from consulting men, a lot of the time when I hear some of the, a lot of these men say to me, and I ask them, like, how much are you paying child support? Yes. Okay, how much roughly are you paying? I'm paying this. And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Like, why that much? And that's not me being tight, and that's not me being disrespectful. I'm just like, we know a child, what you're doing essentially is substituting the mother's lifestyle. Because you have to ask, okay, so where was that? Obviously, men don't generally do it. Oh, I want to see receipts for X, Y, and Z. We don't generally do that. So when we give that money, we're assuming as fathers that money is going on the child.
I think what would help fathers get a better understanding of how much they should pay is to actually have the child in their custody for periods of time, like actually have the child for like a week
100%.
or 2 or 3 or whatever, just so they understand. Oh, it's not what I thought. Like,
I mean, I remember my situation where I was co-parenting. So co-parenting literally means half the week with me, half the week with the mother. That's what I was doing with my son. Yeah. So everything this is where I realized everything that my son needed was at my house. So his uniforms were there, his clothes were there, his shoes were there. I had bought all of that. So he had a whole wardrobe there. Yep. So I'm like, normally sometimes when people co-parent, it's like, oh, they've got a bag and the clothes have to be, the clothes go from, like, he didn't need that at mine. So, and then it was like, oh, I need the X amount. And I'm like, no, you don't. And then what I realized, actually, in the UK, if you're actually co-parenting, no one owes anyone any money. Yeah. Okay, it's different from America. Oh, but in the UK, no one, I'm using gas and electric at mine. I'm paying for his food. I'm paying for all of his clothes. Why do you need money? You're doing the same when he's there.
Exactly.
It's crazy. But yeah, fatherlessness. The epidemic of fatherlessness is, in my personal point of view, is taking over the West in general. I think that fathers are now seen as some kind of add-on. A lot of the time, fathers are now seen as some kind of annoyance. The way in which I hear some women speak about, oh, my baby father and the father of my child, or blah, 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 is like some kind of like thorn in their side. And it's like, listen, it's not about you. It's about the children. Okay? It's not about how you feel about them. It's the fact that the children need a father in their life. And Jesse, there's a video, right? It's not even a long video. It's that little girl, right? We're going to play that and we're going to show.
What one's this? This one here?
What happens, right? Hang on. No. Yes, that one. We're going to show what happens, right? When children don't have fathers in life. You watch this, Jesse.
Okay.
Before you come for me, no, I'm only a little girl. So before you come for me, boo, go check yourself. Make sure you got those edges done like this. Don't worry about that one. I was sleeping. But check yourself. Girl, you talking to a 7-year-old boy?
Bro, is she talking like that if her dad's around? Is she making videos like that? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. She had her nails done. Did you see her nails? She had her nails done like she was a whole adult. She had her quote unquote edges done, and she was boasting and bragging about the fact that she had edges. And she was actually being confrontational with somebody online. I don't know who she was talking to. And she was like, oh, you're talking to a 7-year-old girl. Bye. Where's your dad to whoop you? You whoop your ass. What are you doing? And how? The only way she can get those nails, Jesse, is if her mother okays those nails, brother. That's the only way she can look like that, is because her mother, not her father, okayed that, because fathers aren't letting their children run around like that and talk like that and act like that and look like that. The mother is, in that case, raising a mini her. So if she's talking like that and she's acting like that, she's definitely getting it from the mother.
I'm just trying to think of scenarios where a father would let his daughter have those nails.
Hell no.
I'm thinking
a 7-year-old. She said a 7-year-old. A 7-year-old have nails like that. For what? How are we raising our daughters? This is the fatherlessness behavior that so many women are doing. We have an epidemic of fatherlessness. And like the video that we saw before, the attitude that women have towards men.
Apparently, these are filters. Apparently, it's a filter. I don't know, man.
I don't know. Play it again.
So before you come for me, boo, go check yourself. Make sure you got those edges done like that. Don't worry about that one. I was sleeping. But check yourself. Why are you talking to a 7-year-old boy?
That's not those nails aren't filters. Those are actual nails, bro. Am I lying?
Have to be real, man. It's crazy.
Those nails look real to me. And like I said, this fatherlessness behavior, and so many women who are walking around without fathers, and young girls walking around without fathers, they need guidance. And this is why, I'm just going to say it, this is why the OnlyFans generation of women exists, is because of fatherlessness.
But okay, you can have a father, but isn't it more important to have like a decent father? Because I've seen people raised with both parents and still not turn out the best because of there's a thing called undisciplined discipline. So it's when it's my book that I read called, I think 0 to 1. And it's about like, cool, so all well and good, you as a parent trying to discipline your child.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you yourself are undisciplined, it's not going to work. So, for example, telling your child not to eat an entire tub of ice cream, meanwhile you eat an entire tub of ice cream, is
they watch you do it.
Discipline, yeah. So, like, is it important just to have a father figure, or is it more important to have a good father figure or none at all?
It's important to have good parents,
but
both men and women. But it's important. It's important to have. So this is the thing. I think a good father figure is subjective. I think it's subjective. I think there are people that would say the people will tell you about me, and they'll be like, you know what? You see that Sarah Garvey? He's a see you next Tuesday.
You are, but you know,
right? But there are people that would say to you, you know what? That guy is one of the most generous guys I know. It's one of the most down to earth guys that I know. It depends. It's all subjective, and both of those would be true. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Both of those would be true. So, like I said, it becomes subjective. So a father in somebody's life is something that is needed regardless of what you think, regardless of what the other parent thinks or what the children think. You need a father in your life, unless your father is a detriment to your behavior. Like, I don't know, he's abusive, or they're smoking crack around children, or whatever it is. Those types of scenarios, no, you don't need to be seeing that. But generally, fathers are needed in people's lives.
So two things. So the question I want to ask, make clear, is, hypothetically speaking, do you think it would be better for a child to have no father whatsoever?
Uh-huh.
Okay, to have a single parent, yeah, whether it's a male or female, yeah, or to have both parents that are bad influences.
So say that again. No parents.
So one, yeah,
one parent,
dad or mother,
yeah,
or have both. But one or both of them are on drugs.
No, one. You have one. You need to have one at least.
So exactly. So it's not just a point of having a father there, because the father could actually be a deadbeat.
Yeah, but so could the mother. You don't think the mother's a deadbeat with that little child running around with their nails on? But mothers don't get called deadbeats. It's a thing. Mothers generally don't get called deadbeat mothers. Your child could be a miniature version of you, have nails done at 7, have her edges done at 7, have a crazy attitude at the age of 7, and you're not called a deadbeat mother.
That's true. Check your phone. We've got a super chat.
Okie dokie. We have a super chat, folks. Righty, let's see what we got here. It is from Demswood. Shout out Demswood. Western black women suffer from what? Hybristophilia.
I'm gonna Google that.
Hybristophilia.
Never heard that word before in my life.
What the hell is that, Demswood? You're gonna have to elaborate on that one there, my brother. I don't know what hybristophilia is. But yeah, that child could not be in and around their dad like that. And if they were in and around their father like that, brother, listen, that guy's not even a father. If she is in and around her dad.
Obviously, we went for an extreme example, saying if they were on drugs, but I'm saying, you're saying that just having two parents is the key thing?
Yeah, it's the ideal for all children.
I've seen kids raised with two parents that don't turn out great because
listen, but that may be because of their parents. So then what you're saying, they should have no parents? You say they should have no parents then. If you've seen a child raised with both parents that turned out weird, I'm sure the thing is, I'm talking about for that child. That child goes up to be an adult. Do you think that child or adult would have preferred to have known their parents, even though they were bad, or not known them whatsoever? I would say 9 times out of 10, a child would prefer, as they get into their adulthood, to have known their parents than to have not have known them, because that leaves a chasm within a person. But if we continue on the fatherlessness, Jesse, right? There's another video there.
Yes.
There's another video. It would be the last one there, right? The purple one. Let's play that and let's see fatherlessness. You see, we said this before. A father's goal is to keep his daughter off the pole, right? That's a father's goal. Keep your daughter off the pole. But no, we have mother and daughter pole dancing classes now, folks. Isn't that amazing? Your daughter, who's probably got nails on and her edges done at 7, can now go to a pole dancing class with her mother, swing from the chandeliers around the pole. And this is what the new age mothers are doing when the fathers are not around. Fathers need to be around, man. We can't have this. We can't have this, folks. We can't have daughters swinging from poles. I don't know where the fathers are. As a matter of fact, I do know where the fathers are. We went into a video on Tuesday, Jesse, where you saw sometimes when the men are around and you get stepfathers and you get women saying, "Oh, you haven't seen them," and blah blah blah. In your experience though, Jesse, have you seen a lot of women talk bad about the fathers of their children?
Yeah, you kind of just assume that what they're saying is true.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, I guess you'd assume it. Wouldn't you? I guess we all just assume that when a woman's talking down on her,
believe a woman.
I couldn't tell you why, but we just do.
Believe all women. Apparently, believe a woman about their father, the father of their child. One of the things that I've come to realize in this life is that when a woman speaks about the father of her child or children, I generally don't believe her. Because I'm a father myself, I always ask her, okay, cool, but what would he say? What would he say about you? What would he say about the situation? Because I understand that a lot of the time women generally, especially mothers, speak from their feelings. They speak from their feelings and they're speaking from a place which isn't logical. And it comes from a place that they're in their head, even though they're speaking, they're thinking about scenarios that have happened during their life with this guy. And that's the reason why they don't like this guy, right? They're not actually thinking about their children. That's where I said that there are so many different mothers who hate the father of their children more so than they love their children. Can you imagine? I understand as a father that my son is always going to need his mother in his life. There's nowhere in me that says, you know what, I don't want his mother being around him because she's not a detriment to him. But there are so many women who come up with excuses. Oh, he's this and he's that. It would be better off if they didn't see him. Well, why don't you let the child decide? I hope you never go through this, Jesse. I really do.
I won't. It's impossible.
Brother, you never know, man.
No, I genuinely do know.
I didn't think I'd go for it.
No, you didn't think. Like, I know.
I was with someone for 10 years, brother.
Don't worry, man.
And now I went through it.
Yeah, but no.
And you think you know somebody.
Listen, we're not built the same, you and I.
Why'd you say that? How are you built compared to how I'm built?
Well, I'm a lot slimmer than you. First and foremost.
You are. You're a skinny mother effer.
I'm taller than you.
You're really not taller than me.
Okay.
How tall are you?
6'2".
That's how tall I am.
Okay, we're the same height. I've got way longer hair than you.
Right? Yeah, you trying to come for my baldness again?
Better teeth.
You got better teeth?
Yeah, look.
Do you want to come on camera and do the show?
So we're not built the same.
What's the chat saying?
Impossible. I'm a simp. Impossible. What a joke. He's a joker. Don't trust a word from a woman. Yeah, that's what they're saying.
A working woman?
No, a word from women.
Yeah, like
this brother's chatting waffle.
No, I wouldn't say never trust a word from women. I wouldn't say that. I would say that to take a lot of the time when it comes to mothers talking about the fathers of the children, just take that with a pinch of salt. That's all I'm saying. Just take it with a pinch of salt, because a lot of them, especially if you meet a mother, if you meet someone, it's up to you guys. I would advise against it, right? To get with single mothers to go into a long-term relationship with. But if you do decide, because I cannot tell people what to do, I can advise them, but I cannot tell them what to do. If you do, and she proceeds to talk down about the father of her child or children, what you should do is get the hell out of there.
For sure.
You don't you think?
Yeah, 100%.
Because that could be you.
And like you said, you got to get both sides of the story.
Of course you do.
Yeah. We had a good comment from Kundai Comrade. Says that too many children are the products of casual sex. The female egotistical idea of wanting status from a fling.
Casual sex, that's a very good comment. I think a lot of people are having casual sex or having situationships, and children are born as a result of that. So you don't even know who you're actually having a child with. And because we live in a time where my body, my choice, a woman can now choose to either take the baby or kill the baby, right? It's no longer in your hands as a man. As a man, you don't have any power when it comes to that. You don't. The power's not in your hands. The power's not down to you. And that's something that even, oh my God, I've been through a lot of things. But I had to learn that. I had to learn that myself, that I am not in the power position. If I want a child and she doesn't, it doesn't matter, bro.
No thanks.
It doesn't matter, bro. And so, yeah, like you said, women, too many women, as a matter of fact, and too many men are having children as a result of casual interactions. Folks, I think we can do better than this, man. I really do think that. But I do think that the fatherless epidemic is something that needs to be counteracted. I don't know if people are going to take fathers seriously in these days and times. I don't know what it's going to take for them. We spoke about Fathers for Justice. We saw in the early 2000s, like I showed, that there are men scaling Buckingham Palace saying, listen, fathers need more rights. You can go to the court systems, 200 fathers being taken away from their children each day. What will it take for the world to take fathers seriously?
I don't know. I think we've strayed too far off the beaten track. Now we're in this woke generation, and I think we've gone too far, because now you can't even criticize other people nowadays. Otherwise, you get called a sexist, a misogynist, homophobe, anti-Semite. You can't really say much about people nowadays. So
you can't say much about the mothers or the fathers. I'm a black woman hater, right?
Yeah, you hate
misogynist black woman hater.
Yeah, I think fathers you can. Men are still.
Listen, men have been disrespected all the time, brother.
Yeah,
especially black men. Black men ain't shit. Black men are trash. Black men are this. We've just had to sit down and take it, bro.
Yeah. By the way, what can you define a simp? Because I've been hearing this phrase a lot recently. And what is actually a simp like? A
simp essentially is a panderer to women.
Okay.
Essentially.
So people are just throwing the term right now because a lot of time
they're throwing it around.
Okay, brother. Cool. Because I've been called a simp. I'm like, what is a simp? Like,
soft guys who pander to women, who are constantly like, oh yeah, baby, you're so great. You're a queen.
And like buy them things and give them money.
Buy them things, give them
Okay,
money,
cool,
pander to them. The simps buy OnlyFans.
Okay, cool.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm
That's the
with
simp. Like I said, listen, bro, there was someone in the comment section a couple of weeks that was going crazy at me for my hairline or something like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's just like, it happens.
That was my burner account.
It was you.
That was me.
Oh, Jesse.
You know, so I've actually enjoyed doing this show with you because a lot of people don't know that prior to this, we didn't really know each other.
We didn't.
I didn't even know who you were.
He didn't.
Like,
he didn't.
Yeah.
He came in and we just kind of clicked, bro.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But it's happening and we're here now. But I'm learning a lot about you. And as we've been doing the show, like you don't hate black people, black women. I feel like
you thought I did?
Honestly, when I was saying this shit, you thought I was joking. I'll be for real. I think what it is, from my perspective, is that you're disappointed and let down, and you want better.
I want better for black people in general.
Yeah,
that's my stance. I don't think a lot of people get it because people are in their feelings nowadays, right? Having a stance that is kind of, I'm not gonna lie, my stance is kind of no nonsense, right? I don't mince my words. That's just not what I do. I don't mince my words. I cut straight to the bone. I get straight to the point. And a lot of people don't like it. So then obviously I hate people. And I'm like, I don't hate people. I don't hate anyone.
There's nothing wrong with getting straight to the point. But it seemed like the attack on black women was constant, repetitive, continuous, enduring, everlasting. And what are you looking at?
What are you talking about?
That's what it seemed like.
Continuously and enduring.
And everlasting, repetitive.
Whatever, man. Whatever, though. Whatever, man. Look, he's laughing at me, you know, behind the camera. He's laughing at me. Like, he's laughing at me. Whatever. But we're going to switch gears, though, Jesse,
Let's
right?
go.
Look at the screen over there. Do your job. Yeah, see? He's messed up his job.
Carry on.
We're actually going to switch gears, Jesse, right? And we're going to actually get to some black people stuff, actually. There is a Jamaican, or you say I'm not even from Jamaica. I'm from where? Portmore, as he says. I'm from Portmore. There's a man in Jamaica by the name of Sir P. Sir P.
S-I-R?
S-I-R? Space P.
Lovely.
He has a YouTube channel called Politrix. Because we're politics, you know. A Politrix. Them there.
Yo,
and,
sorry, the new UG said, has Jesse got a face for radio? That's hilarious.
Oh no.
I've got a podcast, guys. Like I do my own podcast, and I've got, if you go on Sarah's Instagram, he tags me all the time. Like I'm not hidden.
He is hidden, but you're hidden at this moment in time. But a lot of people aren't going to do the research, are they?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So
cool. Anyway, Politrix.
Yeah, Politrix. So Sir P, he's a Jamaican.
Oh, I like that, by the way, because Politrix is a play on words on politics, yeah?
Yes.
And tricks, but poly means many.
Many.
So I like what he's done there.
Many
it's like
tricks.
a double entendre.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he's a very smart guy, and he talks about Jamaican politics, right? And he talks about world politics. But I've actually got a video of him that I actually came across. And for the audience, many of you won't know because it's Jamaican accent. All right, so I've had to put, you know, some captions on there, and he's actually had to muffle his voice, unfortunately, because you know Jamaica has one of the highest murder rates in the world per capita, and so you know he has to hide who he is. But when he speaks, a lot of people listen. So could we play that last video there?
This one here, yeah?
Yeah, the black one, and see what he says.
If you want to control a group of people, you don't control their hands and their feet. That's outdated. You control their mind. And what do you see? The media, the music, the entertainment, the movie. What do you see? Man, I tell me about, I must just work with it because the UK is less corrupt than this, so make the UK do this. Because let me explain something to you right now. If I leave a house and I write a set of rules, the next man that live in that house follows these rules. He defends these rules. Remember now, me write the rule them first. Right? In the rules, me say you can only give, right, the woman back shot once a week. The new man who live in the house look on the rules and say back shot can only be given out once a week. That man is a puppet. He's living in my house under my rules. Him can't be man a yard. Jamaicans can't be man of yard in their own country when a next man, a man in a London, can tell us, say, you can't do this and you have to do this. And you have to leg out this and lock up that. Who is the real man of yard? If I leave a group of rules and say teeth must brush by 7 o'clock, no later, and everybody for the next 500 years follow said rules, none of them are the man of yard. And my house that house don't belong to Jamaicans. It's not by Jamaicans for Jamaicans. That is the property of the king. It must be. Jamaicans are not sovereign citizens. You're subjects of the British. 2024, and you're proud of that.
Right. Where are we going with this? People probably saying. In Jamaica, clearly, they are the subjects of the British. And in the world in which we currently live, there are people who claim to be quote unquote independent, right? All of the black countries have their independence. I'm sure your country has their Independence Day, Jesse. My country have Jamaican independence. I've seen Ghanaian independence. I've seen Nigerian independence. However, the question now becomes, how independent are they? If, like he said, if a bunch of people have written a set of rules 500 years ago, and they say you're independent, then they apparently leave, but you are following those rules for the next 500 years. Whose house are you living in? You're living in their house under their rules with the fake independence that we currently have. So Sir P brought up this the other day, and it kind of resonated with me because I thought about it, and I thought about a quote that I read recently, and I actually read it on the podcast that I was on called The Lotus Eaters, Jesse. I'm going to read this quote for you guys, right? It's actually by a former president of France, right?
Do I have the picture on screen?
That's correct. President Jacques Chirac, who served 3 terms as president, right? He served 3 terms as president of France, and this is what he said. He said, we bled Africa for 4.5 centuries. We looted their raw materials, and then we told lies that the Africans were good for nothing. In the name of religion, we destroyed their culture. And after being made rich at their expense, we now steal their brains through miseducation and propaganda to prevent them from enacting black retribution against us. That was said by ex-president of France, Jacques Chirac. The world is currently living, a huge parts of the world are currently living under someone else's rules and regulations. Yet, a lot of these countries, a lot of them are black, claim to have independence. They claim to have independence, which is why one of the reasons why I actually don't celebrate any Independence Day from a black country. Because when you look at them, you will find that they are literally slaves to their colonial masters' rules and regulations, as President or ex-president Jacques Chirac already stated in this quote, as Sir P stated in his speech. So now the question becomes, how independent are black people, Jesse? How independent are they?
In the world or
in the world generally?
Well, up until now, this is quite independent until you
broke it down.
Until we watched that Sir P video and then listened to that quote by Jacques Chirac.
So, have you always thought that these black countries were independent?
I've never really thought about it. So, with the whole independence thing, I've never really thought about it because, for example, Jamaica, like you said, have an Independence Day. My country has one. Like they all have them. But they're still under the Commonwealth, aren't they?
Under the Commonwealth. They're still under the Commonwealth.
I've never actually even thought about it.
Yeah, so they're not independent. No one's actually independent. It is a fake independence. It's a faux independence. It is the illusion of inclusion. And the only way in which countries are going to become sovereign is to stop following the rules and regulations and values of other people. That's the only way it's going to happen. Now, the question now becomes also, are those countries who are the formal colonizers or the formal colonial masters, are they going to allow that? Because with that, like President Jacques Chirac said, we bled Africa for 400 years. We took their resources. And he says that as if it's a past tense, because it's still currently happening, right? With a lot of these former colonial masters. And so if you are gaining billions and billions and billions per year from your former colonial states, and those states become free and independent, they may just say, actually, we're free and independent. We don't have to give you things at this price anymore. Actually, here's a new price. Here's a new price.
They did that, didn't they, with the uranium?
Jesse, man, you just got onto what I'm going to be reading next.
My bad.
No, it's cool. It's good, bro. It means you're thinking. It means you're thinking. Yeah, so if we read this now, the next slide, about my guy, Ibrahim Traore. Ibrahim Traore is the youngest president currently in the world of Burkina Faso. And this is what he had to do as the youngest president to the French. Right. And so it says he meet the world's youngest leader, Captain Ibrahim Traore, president of Burkina Faso. 35 years old, Ibrahim Traore, president of Burkina Faso, has already expelled French troops from Burkina Faso, banned uranium and gold exports to France and the United States of America, and allied with Niger, Guinea, and Mali to defend their region from invaders. Many see him as a return of Thomas Sankara. Do you know who Thomas Sankara is?
No, I do not.
Oh my God, you need to read it. You need to read more into Thomas Sankara. Maybe we could do some stuff on Thomas Sankara actually in the near future. Thomas Sankara or Sankara, depending on how you want to word his name, was a former leader of Burkina Faso who wanted freeness and independence for his people, just like Ibrahim Traore does. And he, banned certain exports and told his people to be better and wanted to work to, make his people flourish. But the CIA got to him. And this is what happens with a lot of quote unquote free and independent countries who choose to think differently from the colonial or formal colonial masters. They tend to be ousted, they tend to be killed, they tend to be, I don't know, what do they call them? Deleted. All of a sudden, there seems to be some kind of coup that happens, and the person that you thought was in power is no longer in power. And just like Sir P said, we are currently living under a world that people think is free and independent, but it isn't. It isn't free and independent. So I ask you guys out there, what do you think needs to be done? What do you think needs to be done?
What can be done? Because if these countries say, no, we're not going to give your resources, they'll just send in the military and do a coup. And then put in a puppet leader in their place. Happens in South America all the time.
When I was on the Lotus Eaters, when I was talking to these two white guys, it's funny because they were talking about corruption, and we spoke about on our podcast, I spoke about the economic hitmen, right? And so the economic hitmen who go into, different countries and, bleed their resources and get them to sign certain contracts, etc., etc. And then we spoke about Arinkana Chimbori Quo, who spoke about the French and the pact to recolonize Africa and all this kind of stuff. When you say that, I think what's happening, slowly but surely, is that we're living in the decline of the power that the West holds over the world. I think we're watching that in real time. I think what happens generally in life is that countries or nations never just get invaded from the outside. If they are strong enough, what happens is that they stay sovereign, and after staying sovereign, when they start to crumble inside, there are people that circle from the outside and say, oh, hang on a minute, they seem a little bit weak. Maybe, just maybe, we could attack now. And I think that's what's happening. That's why I said in the coming years, 50 to 100, 150, people are going to start having to learn Mandarin or Russian, because I think the next major powers are going to be China or Russian?
I've been learning Russian. I speak Russian now.
Oh, really? Tell me some Russian. Don't say privyet, please.
Здравствуйте, как вы поживаете?
I want that.
It means hello, how are you?
You're-
Здравствуйте,
You're actually lying.
как вы поживаете? Меня зовут Jess. Как у вас дела? Means my name is Jess. How are you? Скажите, пожалуйста, извините, где Красная площадь?
Brother, that's not Russian. I don't know
Okay,
what
then
that
tell me
is.
what it is then.
That's not Russian. Because
So tell me what it is then.
I've worked with Russians.
So tell me what it is then.
And when they communicate, they don't talk like that.
So tell me what it is then. You tell me what it is.
That's something that you made up, brother.
Okay.
That's basically you hearing what the Russian language sounds like and creating some kind of gibberish around it.
So I can say the exact same thing again.
Say it again.
Здравствуйте.
Say that again.
Здравствуйте.
Yeah.
Как вы поживаете? Why are you so ignorant?
A lie is in my tail.
Whatever, man.
How'd you say okay in Russian?
I don't know.
How'd you say my name is Jess?
Меня зовут Jess.
I don't know.
You don't know. Literally.
Yeah,
that.
I don't know.
Yeah, literally.
You
that.
seem a little upset. You seem a little bit upset about this, bro.
You're very dismissive.
Yeah, you are, because you're a liar.
Cool.
You're a liar. You just keep saying that I hate black women, and I don't.
I was wrong about that.
You were wrong.
I've admitted earlier on, like 20 minutes ago, I was wrong about that.
He was wrong.
We had a whole little dialogue about this.
We did. Maybe I'm just pressing you a little bit.
Pause.
What's the chat saying before we leave?
Negro Russian, slightly different sounding. Ibrahim is not Sankara. Sankara was a pan-Africanist and communist. Ibrahim is a nationalist.
A colonist?
Communist.
Communist. Oh, okay.
Ibrahim is a nationalist and capitalist who leans authoritarian. The new G said, check out War is a Racket by Smedley Butler. I know.
War
I know,
is a method.
No, a racket, because I know that war is a way to launder loads of money.
It's a way to launder money, isn't it?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's crazy, and it's not like a few 100,000, even a few.
No, it's billions.
It's literally billions.
It's billions
of Dora.
Yeah. Well, listen. The bottom line is, look. Do you know when it comes to war? This is something that I've always thought. Right? It comes to war. If there is R&D, research and development for different missiles and different weapons and different bullets and what they do, and people get shown, hey, look, this new weapon kills 50,000 people at one time. Oh, really? Wow. You have to think to yourself, okay, you're not going to build a weapon like that and you're not going to want to use it.
So, yeah. Do you know Voldemort make a lot of weapons, okay? Voldemort is a country that cannot be named because we'll get banned. So we call them Voldemort. If you know who we're talking about, you know who we're talking about. And they make a lot of weapons and they sell a lot of weapons to different armies around the world, different nations. And they have the added luxury of being able to test their weapons in the field. Yeah. Because a lot of weapons are just like in concept, but not many are actually tested in the field. You can test them on a training facility.
On a training facility,
but they test them in the field. And do you know what the field is that they test it on?
Don't say it.
It's the world's largest open air prison. They test them there.
Where's that?
I can't say it on here. We'll get cancelled.
Okay. It's in that same country.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's in
that's where they test it, and they sell these weapons as tested in the field because they've used them on innocent civilians in the world's largest open air prison.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? You're a conspiracy theorist, aren't you?
It's not conspiracy theory. These are facts. What are you talking about?
You're a conspiracy theorist, bro.
So you're not as clever as you might seem.
No, I'm not. You're not as dumb as you might seem.
But I'm a simp, according to the comments.
Yeah. But yeah, like I was saying, like, when you really do think about it, people are making weapons and they have to want to use them. Okay. And so if people are making weapons and spending billions and billions and billions of dollars to create these weapons, they're going to have to find a way to use them. I'm not going to create this microphone and not want to use it. It's going to be sitting down there. It's not going to be making any money. It's not going to be, showing people exactly what a microphone does. If you make something, you want to use it. So the question now becomes, if they're making all these weapons, where are they going to use it? Why? And then it makes you ask yourself, okay, are they creating wars in and around the world so they could just use their weapons?
Exactly. The never-ending war.
It's like a never-ending cycle.
A forever war.
A forever war.
Yeah.
It's like a never-ending cycle.
If you look at the amount of in the US, especially the amount of politicians that were once on the boards of like Boeing and Raytheon and Lockheed that are now in sorry, Jesse is a conspiracy theorist and a lying simp.
Oh, they got you on all counts, bro.
The amount of politicians senators who are working for these organizations who are now in politics, and they just literally lobby them and just make sure the money goes straight back to their pals that are still working for these companies and to themselves, of course.
Interesting. So we're living in a huge pyramid scheme.
Literally, yeah.
We're actually living in a huge pyramid. Someone said this to me the other day, that capitalism is a huge pyramid scheme. We are now paying interest for 50 years ago. What happened 50 years ago?
Yeah, do you know, how like the price of things goes up, yeah?
Mhm.
You know, in a developed society, which is what we claim to be, the price of things should be going down because
you're making more money.
Not even just
Or
that,
you're richer.
you're getting better at doing it. So
Yes.
like these cameras that we're using, okay, yeah, these two.
Yes.
A long time ago, they would have been really difficult to make. So it would have been very, very pricey. As time progresses,
it's easier to make.
It's easier. So the price should be going down, but the price is going up. The price of everything is going up. Like the price of milk, for example. Okay, like harvesting cows.
Harvesting cows.
I forgot what the term is called. But when
what do you mean, milking cows?
Yeah,
harvesting cows.
Whatever you want to call it. That should have, in theory, you assume it's easier now than
when people were actually using their hands.
But why has the price of milk gone up?
Well, then that's the cost of living, isn't it? That's what you call inflation. So basically, apparently, inflation makes sense.
Okay, Group B said depends on demand, just yeah, of course, and false scarcity. So like they're just literally making things, but there's no illusion of false scarcity with things like milk. Like no one says, "Oh, we're going to run out of milk." No one's ever said that. So why is the price going up?
It's a question. It's a question. It's a question.
Anyways, well, I'm talking too much. This is your show.
No, it's fine. It's a question. Any other comments before we leave out? And I'm gonna let you guys enjoy your weekend.
Question: when is from Social Joins? Said, when is Sarah dropping the Off the Pole LP?
Off the Pole LP. Do I look like a rapper? Trust me, I don't know how to rap. I don't know how to sing. I don't know how to do any of that. So yeah, that LP will be coming to you never.
Cool. Also, as well, we spoke, Sarah, about discussing. In fact, someone in the comments on Tuesday said, when are we going to talk about Vybz Kartel?
Vybz Kartel.
World boss.
World boss.
Oh,
do you know what I can say on that very briefly?
Mm-hmm.
I've stated that the underworld and the underbelly of Black culture is pushed to the top, and people seem to want to glorify the underworld and the underbelly of Black culture. And Vybz Kartel is literally the underworld and the underbelly of Black culture. However, he seems to be pushed to the surface and people are going absolutely crazy for him because he made some songs. This guy is a guy that was convicted of murdering another human being. Apparently, okay, he's got off. But when you go to Jamaica and you listen to Jamaicans, listen to people like Sir P, he will actually go into who he has actually been involved in killing. It's not just the one, it's more people. And so that underworld and that underbelly, when it comes to Jamaica having one of the highest murder rates in the world, and you have people like Vybz Kartel just making songs about it and acting like a bad man, right? And people actually propping him up and girls making memes all over the internet saying, oh, I can't wait till he comes out. I'm going to be the first at the concert. I'm going to be at the jailhouse, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, listen, brother, you see, when it comes to Vybz Kartel, I don't do the whole underworld of Black culture being lifted up to the surface. I think the underworld should stay in the underworld. So as a Jamaican, I don't care about them kind of man there.
Two things I want to say about that is you mentioned Sir P.
Sir P. Politics.
He was talking about, like, you know, if a man made the rules 1,500 years ago, blah, blah, blah. You know, the court that he appealed to was a court in London. Did you know that?
Vybz Kartel?
Vybz Kartel.
And he got...
The appeal wasn't placed in the Jamaican court.
Interesting.
It was placed in the final court of appeal, which is in London. And he's all the way in Jamaica.
And so does that make you think, why would the court in London want him out?
Who knows?
The rabbit hole goes
and secondly,
very deep.
with regards to people glorifying Vybz Kartel, it's all well and good until
he murders one of your family members.
Exactly.
It's all well and I shouldn't even laugh because I don't want any of one's family members to be murdered, but it's all well and good until one of your family members get murdered. and then he sings about your family member on a track and says "Royal Boss"
and makes $1 million.
and makes $1 million from it. So yeah, when it comes to Vibes Cartel, we can go into it. Probably can go into it on some episode, but generally, I just think that Black people have a problem in pushing their underworld to the surface, and I'm just not about it. And so that's why I make this show.
No, I need to discuss that as well, because things like the mafia, they're glorified in Hollywood and on TV. Sopranos, The Godfather, Goodfellas, these things are glorified. Okay, but that is the underworld.
Of course it is.
No one speaks about the Jewish mafia. It's like it doesn't even exist. Okay,
the Russian mafia.
These things are glorified. You watch films like The Equalizer. There's a scene where I think he's with the Turkish mafia and he kills them all in that little thing. Like, we glorify these things. The Yakuza, the Triad. These things are glorified.
From Japan.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's what I said. Everyone's got their underworld.
Yeah, but those are we don't mind those ones.
No, it's not that we don't mind. It's just that people are not judged. People of those cultures are not judged by their underworld. I don't generally judge Italians based off the mafia. The reason why is because the mafia are able to export Italians are able to export a different type of culture to the world also. Like, it's basically an alternative. So we have the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and we have pizza, and we have spaghetti, and we have all of these things. So you think, okay, they might have that, but they're not generally like that. Black peoples are now in a position to export a different type of Black person. My problem is, so many times when we get in positions to export a different type of Black person, we stick to the stereotypes of the underworld, which is the TV shows that get made, which is the films that get made, which is the stuff that they post on the internet. We stick to the stereotype of Black people, the podcasts that get made, all of these things. Oh yeah, man is a road man, bruv. And it's just like, oh, for fuck's sake, not another one. But that's just me. And that's why people don't like me, because I speak the truth like that. But folks, I'm gonna catch you on the flip side. You guys enjoy your weekend, and take care of yourselves, like Jerry Springer says, and each other.
And each other.